Okay, this is still week 6, and we've moved on to Lab 3, Experience 5. And there's a few more steps in this one, so this will take a little longer than the first one, but it's still not long. In any event, let's wash our hands. Oh, by the way, it is not unlikely and not inappropriate if there's no good way to wash, if there's no sink and running water and so forth where you are, and it's not likely to be working in a place like that, but I am right now. But a satisfactory substitute, not first choice, but a satisfactory substitute is using an isopropyl alcohol preparation, something like this. This foams, and you can rub it all over your hands and allow it to evaporate. And as it evaporates, it dries all the water out of the bacteria, and they die. And so it's a very good second choice. And in some cases, for some particular organisms, it's even a superior choice. In any event, we've washed our hands, and now we're going to put on our gloves. And where's my thumb? What happened to my thumb? What happened to my thumb thing? Thumb thing wrong. Here we go. All right, that's better. There we go. One glove. And 2 gloves. Oh, stretchy, stretchy, stretchy. Pull on. Okay, so there we have it. We've done our aseptic hand washing, or a reasonable alternative. And we've applied our gloves. We're going to take our 10 salt tablets. Okay, there are salt tablets. We're going to take our 10 salt tablets, and we're going to crush them. Okay. Remember what I said before. You want to give them a good crush first before you start going around, because you want to try to get those particles pretty small, and that way when you start doing the trituration, the real grinding on it, they don't the powder doesn't poof out over the edge. You're not seeing what I'm doing right now. Let's fix that. Because what's the point if you can't actually see what I'm doing? So there we go. There's the tablets in the mortar. In the mortar, there's the pestle. We're crushing. Okay. And you want to get this powder that you're making from these tablets to be as fine and as uniform as you possibly can. Okay, looks pretty fine to me. There we go. Just for the sake of thoroughness, we're going to take a piece of parchment paper and lay it on the table, and we are going to sieve this powder. onto this parchment. This is a job where it might be handy if I had 3 hands. I'm going to try to scoop this powder out of here with a spatula. Into the sieve. There we go. And then, again, using the spatula, we're going to persuade the powder to go through the sieve. Okay, you don't get too assertive with this, okay? You don't want to rip your sieve. And it's not critical that you crush every stubborn little piece of powder through there. That's okay. So we sieved it. There were some small particles left. There we go. And we'll discard those. Okay, you can put them on some French fries or something later. Okay. And then we're going to return the powder to the mortar. It says use the spatula to return the powder to the mortar. All right, well, for the sake of following the directions, we'll persuade the powder to get into a pile. I'm manipulating the paper and making it all go in the same place. And then we can do that. We can return the powder with the spatula to the mortar. Honestly, probably if I were working and doing this, I would probably just turn this piece of paper into a little funnel and just dump the powder into the mortar. But again, we're learning to manipulate equipment here, so we're doing some steps that not everybody might necessarily do at any particular time. But again, to demonstrate competency, do what I'm doing. I just realized my voice was getting very low, and it might be getting difficult for you to hear. All right, so there we go. I need a dial on here so I can see if I'm bumping the needle or not. I'll try to speak up more clearly. All right, so there, we've returned the powder to the mortar. Good for us. Okay, powder back in the mortar. Parchment paper. We'll get that out of the way. There's always going to be some left. Because that's the best you can do. Okay. Okay, so powder has been returned to the mortar. And we're going to measure some cherry syrup, about 29 mLs. That's just short of an ounce, just short of 30 milliliters. Okay, again, we're going to use our cherry syrup and our 100 ml graduated cylinder, 10, 20, 30. About 29 mLs. All right. This is where I have to cheat a little. Get the glasses out. Check it out. 10. Oh, there's the marker. 10, 20, 30. Okay, I need like another ml maybe to make 29. Okay. Okay, 29 mLs cherry syrup, 100 ml graduated cylinder. There we have it. All right. And we're going to put a small amount of the cherry syrup into the mortar and mix it up. And this is what they call levigation. You'll see that in your lab instructions. But that's what it is. So we're going to put like 1 to 2 mLs. Okay, you know what? It doesn't say this in instructions, but for the sake of thoroughness, for the sake of instruction, I'm going to use a pipette. And that way you can see, okay, it goes from 9 to, that's fine. All right, so we're going to take like 2 mLs out of here. It's easier said than done. It's way easier said than done. Oh, there we go. Now we got it. Down to 2. Looking. Now it's tapered and there's some beyond the end, so you can't actually use the graduations thoroughly. But there, we've added 2 mLs. Oh, see how finely that powder was? When I squirted the cherry syrup into a dust arose. Okay, so we've got small amount of the cherry syrup in the mortar, and we're going to levigate it. This is consistent with the principle of geometric dilution. If you put a lot of cherry syrup in here in the beginning, it'll be too wet, and you can't grind it when you use the mortar and pestle. Okay. Notice also, you know, we did this before with a spatula and parchment paper, and yes, that is a quicker and a fancier way to do it. But if you don't do it often, mortar and pestle is a good way to go. It keeps it's contained better. You got more leverage. You got more control. It's good. So I've got a paste here. Now, what you can see is it's a paste. Okay. It's thick. It's a little bit like a liquid, but it's way over on the solid side. All right. All right. So now we're going to put 3 mLs of the cherry syrup in 3 different times. Okay. So we're going to put in 3 mLs at 3 different times. And you can, if you feel comfortable, you can estimate and pour it, you know, or you can do this. This is admittedly a little harder, but I'm doing it so you can see what it looks like and see that, see what 3 mLs looks like. Okay, so there's 3 mLs one time. And we're going to begin to triturate. When you do this, you'll see that the nature of it begins to change. It gets smoother and thinner. Okay, but you can't add all the liquid at once. in order to hurry that up, because if you do, then you end up with a ball of salt and a sea of cherry syrup, and the sea keeps chasing the ball around and they don't mix. So it's got to be dry enough that you can get some friction involved here. But I can feel already this is smoother and more liquid in content than it was before the first time. Be patient with this part and see what happens. It climbs up the pestle and climbs up the sides of the mortar, and you got to give it a scrape every once in a while to get it back in the game. Okay. All right, so let's give it another 3. Pretty good. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, and again, the character of this mixture has changed. It's getting looser, thinner, more like what our goal is, and that's a suspension. It's not going to be a solution. It's going to be a suspension, which means that the final product will have to be shaken every time you choose, because it'll settle, and it's not going to be clear. It's not going to be completely uniform. Which is why you have to shake it every time to return it to being uniform. But the salt will settle out a little bit. Salt's fairly soluble, but it'll settle out into the cherry syrup. Okay. Hear that scratching? So you know I'm using Wedgwood. Wedgwood is non-glazed non-glazed porcelain, and it grinds better. It's harder to clean up, but it grinds better. Okay, all right. Let's get another 3 here. There we go. Okay, now it's getting to be a lot more like a suspension and a lot less like a paste. There we go. So see what we have here? This is, you can't really tell by looking at it, I guess, but when you levitate it, it behaves a lot more like a liquid than it does a solid. All right, so having done those 3 portions of 3, Oh, okay. All right. I see what you're saying. I don't think we're thin enough yet, though. It's telling me to transfer this into the bottle. Well, I can do this for you. This stuff is not ready to pour. We may be a little dry here yet. Okay, but this is not ready to pour. All right. So we're going to do this. We're going to add another teaspoon or so. That's going to be better. Now we're getting some. Okay, now you may want to use a funnel for this. You may not. I'm going to stick my neck out and look confident. Sit down so I'm on its level. And I'm going to take and pour. No, I'm not. It's not going to pour. It's not ready yet. Okay. Be that way. It acts in the mortar as if it will pour, but it won't pour. Okay. Give it a minute. Let it get. No, it's not going to happen. All right. I'm going to put a little bit more in. Maybe those salt tablets were bigger than they expected. That looks like that should pour. Ah, we got pouring. Okay. Slow pouring. But we got it. I'm holding the mortar in my hand with the pestle because it's a little bit big. The mortar's a little bit big to grip. Okay. All right, now we're going to go from more to rinse with. Ah. Okay, we're getting pretty thin now. We're going to put the rest in and rinse the walls. Okay, not bad. Here we have it. Okay, so there's our product. Well, what shall we call that? Salt and cherry suspension. Okay. So label it. About 29 milliliters. Today is the 9th of October, 2018. And put your name on it. Okay. Again, check and make sure your lid's on good and tight. And you can lay the bottle down. It's easier to label that way. And boom, nice and straight. Okay. And there's our product. Okay. That's what we have. So what do we do? Well, we levigated. Okay, and we triturated. Okay, we triturated to get the. Look at that. How about that? Better? I know what to do. In order to get the powder uniform, we triturated it, and then we levigated it into the liquid to make a smooth emulsion. To make a smooth suspension. An emulsion would be if we added a different liquid to a liquid. If we added a powder to a liquid. This is a suspension. When you dispense this, there will be a shake well label put on it because it will not stay that way. the salt will fall out of the cherry syrup eventually. And so you have to shake it up when you use it. This is just for demonstration. It's not really medicine, so nobody's going to use it. But suspensions require shake well. Okay, so there we have it. And that concludes our lab work for week 6. And I hope everything's going well for you all. You know where I am if you need me. And have a good week.